start a little bit with what is Fracas? How did you get started? Hear that story.
Sure. So Fracas has been around for going on 5 years now. It was started by our founder, David, and we had a big fix on NFTs at the time. So we're mainly marketing NFT projects because, of course, around that time, that's when NFTs were really like starting to pop off, which made sense to us, right? I joined around about 2 years ago now. Came in as strategic partnership director. I was helping on everything to do with partnerships. So that's collabs for the clients, bringing in collab managers, anything that was connecting people. That was sort of like what I was doing. And then I would say about a year ago now, David asked me to take over as CEO. And around about that time, my main man, Sasha, came in on the business development side. And then we've basically just ran with it since. We changed our focus from NFTs mainly to tokens. So that's projects that either have a token or plan to launch a token. And what we do for them is essentially turning attention into demand through KOL campaigns and go-to-market strategy. Since then, we've worked on multiple different projects with KOLs, and what I've really enjoyed the most about the process is the more campaigns that we're running, the better our campaigns are getting. The more data that we're receiving just means the more effective our campaigns are for clients, right?
Yeah, that's something that is, I think, crucial that you guys are very much, it's always great to hear how you guys do things and work because, yeah, when I was sorting for, and also about 20 different agencies, and maybe you've heard the story before, but I had a long list to go through when I was working in this DeFi protocol, and we were down to the final 3 or 4, and you guys were the only ones who were delivering on all the points. And so it's always a pleasure to talk to you guys and hear how you guys do things. So yeah, I do believe, I was working for a KOL myself as well. I'm familiar with the space, and yeah, it's always great to hear about these things. So yeah, a bit about Fernanz. It started as an algorithmic trading company, so it's always been about as an IT company basically, and so we're really technical when it comes to things on this side of things, on the Web2 side of things, and what we're trying to do is basically build systems that help with businesses to get that also discoverability and that design that is integrated into everything that we do, so that basically everything that you're doing is towards that growth, towards that conversion of the traffic, the leads, the people that are talking about you into actual clients. And so yeah, it started back in 2020, but yeah, it pivoted around 2023. And it's born out of the need of, in this cycles of famine and feast that we have in Web3. It was born out of something where I did not want to have my eggs in one basket. So so I started that based out of my name, but also when you read in an F pattern. And so this is maybe what we have in common. Both of our indices start with the letter F. And when you're reading things, you're reading on an F pattern. And so I thought that was kind of cool and something that we can base ourselves on when we're looking into how people are scanning through your content, your website, or anything that you do. Anyway,
could you go into that a little bit more? What do you mean by F pattern?
So if you're reading anything, right, and if you're Westerner and you're not, you don't read from right to left. Let's say you're not Jewish, you're gonna be scanning or reading from left to right in that F pattern, right? So
okay, yeah,
from the top, and so a lot of people may make the mistake to try to put things or position their content in a way that is outside of that pattern, and that can be useful for breaking, you know, people's normal trains of thoughts and things like that. But I think it's just a quirky little thing where you can understand that people are going to, you know, have that type of order when analyzing anything, right? So whether that's your website or your blog, or, you know, there's going to be key points there, or that F pattern has to do with the way you process information. And, you know, if a lot of times if that is not there, people go, you know, and especially in this day and age where there's, you know, a milliard amount of content, and you have all these sorts of places to put your attention. If it's not capturing your attention in the first, you know, few milliseconds, people are just going to scroll over, right? So unfortunately, we're in an age where we have to do everything that we can to optimize and maximize our probabilities of capturing that attention, even if it's for the first few milliseconds to the seconds to the, you know.
Yeah. We're definitely in the attention economy. Everyone says it, but it's without a doubt. Like, I made a post, I scheduled it for LinkedIn, and it's basically saying, like, you're not competing against other L2s or other DeFi projects. You're competing against dopamine. That's it. You're competing against the scroll. As long as you can get them to stop, you've won. You've beat 90% of your competition.
Absolutely.
That's really all it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so when we're crafting reels, we're looking into the point in which people are cutting off. And, you know, for the majority of reels, if you're not doing things right, you're gonna have people cut off in the first second, first 2 seconds. So that's where the curve starts to fumble. So you have to do everything that you can in those first few seconds to gain the trust, the authority, the credibility from the viewer, or at least the attention, and for the brain to say, well, what's going on here, to watch or to listen to you. So yeah, that's absolutely right. Regardless of the niche or the right, the industry you're in, capturing that attention and this attention economy is crucial. Absolutely.
Without doubt.
Yeah. So on that note, what would you say is like the biggest money leak that you see in Web3 marketing right now, and how would you plug it in a couple of moves?
Biggest money leak, I would say, paying for influence, so like paying for reach before actually fixing what you're offering. So sharpen the offer, and then you pay to repeat what works. So you have to keep trying, like, different things. Once you know that this call to action or this particular prompt works, that's when you should pay to amplify that message. If you've got a shitty message and you're amplifying that, you get shitty outcomes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So exactly. I would say amplifying before refining.
Mm-hmm. Is there a particular case in which you think this was really relevant, or can you see, or have you seen out there some cases where it could help them with this?
It's kind of general, but you see it quite often. Well, at least I feel like I see it often, where you can really tell that. I mean, working in the space, it's quite easy to start to pick up on what's real and what isn't when it comes to posts. And when I say what's real and what isn't, I mean, like, what's paid for and what isn't. Because as we know, not every KOL discloses it as much as they should. And yeah, I mean, I see it a lot on the timeline where at least I think that it's a paid shill, but the message just isn't strong enough. It's weak. There's nothing there, and that comes from lack of testing before actually amplifying, right? So you're better off starting with your smaller focus group, your community, or if you don't have a community yet, then friends and your network. Pitch it to them, pitch that call to action to them. If they're not interested, then no one's going to be interested. So
yeah,
fix that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if it's not useful, then yeah, or you cannot communicate in a way that is validating the use of that. Yeah, what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. Because oftentimes it's because it's too complicated.
Yeah.
It's obviously a dev focused team, which that is not a problem at all. I think they're the best types of teams because they focus on their product the most. But because of that, they're somewhat blind to the marketing side. And I think because they're so happy about all of their different tech stacks, their developments, they want the KOLs to show all of that in the same message. But to be honest, none of that matters to retail.
Yeah.
They don't care about your TPS. They don't care about your TVL. All they care about is what this influencer is telling them. And if they don't understand it, if they don't understand why it's bullish, they're not going to be bullish. So you've got to make it as simple as possible so that anyone can read it and be like, okay, I understand the value of this product or what have you. You just keep it simple.
Yeah, exactly. And for those that are watching that think, oh yeah, but I'm not gonna target myself towards retail in this space, especially Web3, you have to have the retail following, even if you're B2B, B2G strict, protocol that wants to sell the technology to a government. If you don't have people following or people validating your idea and saying this is important and communicating and talking to them, create a community behind that, investors are not going to come. People are not going to, put their energy and time, or perhaps it's just going to make your life much easier validating that demand, validating that the retail is there, that there's an interest on the retail side about this, and that boils down to also communicating things in simpler terms, right? So that retail understands all this, projects that are talking about DPN or this and all this technical stuff that doesn't talk to the end users. That if we're trying to adopt and we're trying to look for mass adoption, that that serves the greater whole purpose of all this that we're building. A bit of a ramble there on on the adoption on the technical side and the back end in the back end of Web3. But yeah, I think if you want to have people pay attention to you, you have to talk to them in their terms. I think that's what I'm trying to say. So yeah.
Completely agree, man.
Yeah, man, awesome. So a bit of a spicy take. Most KOL campaigns fail because, and what's the first thought that comes to your mind?
They're fake. They're not real KOLs. I mean, that's the first one for me. Is like, I mean, especially recently, there's been quite a few KOL lists being shared and the controversy around it. And me and my team we laugh at a lot of these lists because we're going through them, trying to identify, okay, are any of these so-called KOLs in any of the lists that we share to our clients? Because if so, then we've missed something and we need to fix it. We go through the whole list. We can't see a single KOL in these lists. So to us, it's I think that's probably the main killer.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, I totally agree. I guess there's all of these lists that are running around as well of KOLs, but we have to be aware of that.
I think KOL must have a different definition to some people. To some people, it's just having an NFT profile picture, over 100K followers, and tweeting "wag me" and GM all the time. I think some people that's the KOL.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I actually saw recently a post that was criticizing the KOL marketing, but I believe it's because they're thinking that KOL marketing is exactly that. Just, oh yeah, I have 500K followers, therefore, all these bots might do some moving of the needle for my project. Yeah, it boils down to what really moves the needle, I guess. And so, yeah, totally agree. If it's not a real KOL, real followers with something that in their call to actions has an effect on the bottom line, then that was the point.
Yeah.
All right. So in terms of case studies from stats to a move or a strategy towards a lesson that was learned, what would you say is the constraint that forced the smartest tactics and where the lessons learned with Polkadot or while working with them?
I think with Polkadot, because they're so well known already, it's not like it's a brand new project. It's not a new shiny thing that you can present to people. Instead, it's more of a revalidation of why everyone knows who Polkadot are. And you can't do that through cheap tactics or anything like quest campaigns or none of these things would move the needle for someone like Polkadot. What they need is the revalidation, enter the conversation on crypto Twitter and TikTok more. So our main focus with them was onboarding the what we call KOLs, but the top ones, the ones that actually people look to for their opinions, because their opinions are usually quite well thought out and real. So that's exactly what we did. Some of the more notable KOLs that we helped on board, ICO Beast, Pix on Chain, the guys from Modern Market, so Legendary, B-Check, Sammy to begin with, now Bread. All of these names to me are real standout KOLs who I like to listen to. I like to pay attention to their opinions, because time and time again they tend to be right. And one thing I like about these types of KOLs is they have proof of their on-chain actions backing up the things that they're talking about. You'll never see these guys talk about something that they haven't already tested themselves or haven't looked through thoroughly, because they understand the value of their reputation. And they're not going to squander that for a couple of $1,000s, So I think that was what we could have done best for Polkadot, and we managed to do so. So now it's just continue.
If there's one way that you wanted people to know about Polkadot, what would that be?
One thing, it's the best place to stack your stable coins. If you're sitting on a bunch of stables, it's the best place for yield right now on hydration. I'm not sure if the limits are still capped or reached right now. I know they were at one point and they fill quite quickly, but if you can get into the G dot on hydration, there's with your stable coins, that's the best place for it right now.
Oh, cool, interesting. I am sitting on some stables, so I'm going to look into that right now. Yeah. Cashed out at the top of the BTC recently, so yeah. Great advice. Let me check it. And yeah, I guess other than Polkadot, you guys have other really big clients. Is there any others that you like to talk about or mention in this case? Or in another case, on another form.
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few. Yeah, I mean, Silver Swap, the absolute best decks on Sonic, which obviously was previously Phantom. Karate Combat doing absolutely crazy things with sport and Web3. They now have the stadium in Miami. Now purchasable on Solana. They're doing great things. LimeWire, obviously, I think everyone gets nostalgia when they hear LimeWire and the file sharing. But they're now kind of deep into AI, so very interesting project to watch. And then also we work with Talisman now, which is one of the, if not the best wallet on Polkadot. And again, they're integrating AI into everything that they do. So another one to watch. The team's great. They're working very hard, and they've got developments coming that I think people will be interested in.
Yeah, man. Switching gears a little. Let's switch over to community and growth, because I don't know if from your view this resounds with you, but in my view, every crypto project is first and foremost a community project that has to have a strong community or a strong following, regardless, as we said before, regardless of your niche or your intention or your end goal, even if that is to go as high as to governments or B2B. I think having that following, having that community, and someone that understands what is it that you're trying to accomplish in their terms and believes in what you're doing in simple terms, then it's always great to validate your idea and to go to investors and to go to your clients with that validation. But in terms of community growth, that compounds and it's just not noise. What would you say are the I don't know, the key points and things that come to your mind when it comes to community growth?
Don't force or rush it. I think some of without a doubt, some of the best communities in Web3, the strongest, the loudest, they're built over a year, 2 years. Biggest example that I can think of is Wrecked Guy by OSF, OV. What he's done with Wreck Brands is like, it's a blueprint for anyone that is creating a brand right now. He started from the absolute bottom with the community. I still remember the Wreck Guy mint. You could get one for holding a Max Payne X copy NFT. I remember like, it was one of those profile pictures that regardless of where we were in the market, you would always see a couple of accounts rocking a Wreck Guy in like bear market, in bull market. Like, you knew it was going to stay around. And now they're selling out every single one of their they sell sparkling water. They sell out within minutes of every single drop. And like, you could argue that that's because there's Rec tokens attached to it. They're selling out drops that have no tokens attached to it. Do you know what I mean? Like, the community's that strong, you can't even get hold of their water. That's a community.
Yeah.
You know? So
yeah, I'll look into that.
100%. One of the best case studies to look at if
exactly.
you've got the community.
Yeah, and what would you say was the catalyzing effect or the factor that catalyzed that? You know, in regards to having, was it a KOL? Do you think it was a thing that went viral, or or just really just getting their point through?
I think it was just the consistency. OSF, KOL in his own right, definitely. So you would somewhat, the brand would benefit from that, but you can't say that that's just because he's a KOL, he's done this. It's anyone. I would recommend anyone to do what Ovi does, and any of these founders, and to grow your own personal brand anyway. You should be trying to become a KOL, a thought leader in your area. he just happened to already be that and going into creating his project. So but in that case, I think it was just the consistency. He didn't start. There's no lack in communication. The community knew that something was being built and that they would be rewarded for it. One of the most pivotal moments was when they gave / offered equity to NFT holders. That was a huge moment, and I'm pretty sure from then it was just up only.
Yeah. Actually, when it comes to paid equity on tokens, one project that comes to mind now is Paid Network. I think they're doing equity on tokens recently.
Okay.
But yeah, there's definitely a switch to equity towards IDOs and all the sorts of offerings where, yeah, good point. But yeah, I think also the discipline and that's for me also personally like a really strong point of the consistency that you mentioned, because yeah, I'm pretty much into scheduling everything and doing everything consistently regardless of how you're feeling, how you're doing. If it's in your calendar, it's gonna have to come at one point or other. Even if you reschedule it, like this call for example, you have to make it happen.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah. Anyway,
if nothing changes, nothing changes.
Yeah, exactly. You just have to get up and do the grind work at every point and aspect of your life. And a lot of people sometimes get beat up and give up and are too tired or running on motivation instead of discipline. And that's been a big lesson for me, because you're not going to do things when you're not extremely motivated. Sometimes, obviously, there's some stages, and especially in the crypto space, where you have famine and or doom and gloom, right? Cycles where things are not going to work your way. But if you continue and you're disciplined about it and you're determined, then eventually you get there.
Yeah.
3 red flags that a project isn't ready for KOL spent yet.
1, you've got to understand what it is. Like, you've got to understand your own value proposition. Why should anyone be interested? If you can't answer that, or if your answer is a bunch of buzzwords and there's no actual substance there, then you're not ready for any sort of amplification. Actually having something for users to do, again, pointless in amplifying an announcement of an announcement. So again, just wait until you actually have something for someone to do, and then try and get them to take part in it. And then the last one, I'm not sure about the last one.
I guess the last one could be that, yeah, you can have a great way to communicate or to express what is it that you're doing, so you have a following, so that that makes sense around like call to action that the KOL may give you, and so that you're not making an announcement, but at the same time, if the project doesn't have a very good MVP or functioning architecture behind it, then it's best to perhaps build, ship, and deliver something of use that is going to justify, or that is going to show people that there's a use case for this, in one way or another. Instead of just saying that you're going to build something before having anything whatsoever, built at all.
Yeah, 100%. A lot of people I've seen in my comments and some of my posts, because obviously I work in marketing. What I do is marketing. So I'm going to speak about marketing. Just because I focus on the marketing side of things doesn't mean that I think you should market shit. yes, you need to have a good product. The product should come first. But
Mm-hmm.
without marketing, a good product just gets sat on the shelf doing nothing because no one's aware of it. So I completely agree with what you just said. Minimum MVP, get the MVP done.
Mm-hmm.
If it's going to be fucking 100 times better in the future, brilliant. But let me see that in the MVP. Let me get in there and let me see that vision of, like, I should be able to jump on this, even if it is shit, even if it crashes or it's in testnet. I should be able to get around, play with it, and then understand, okay, yeah, I can see how they're going to upgrade this and how this is going to be valuable.
Exactly. Yeah. So many projects, I think, they just want to launch with a vision, with a pitch deck, with a business model, but then there's not enough code to back that up with something that people can at least play around with. Your open source code on GitHub, and people take a look on what is it that you're building, how you're building it, to validate your ability to say all those things that you are claiming that you are going to do, which are also hard enough. But yeah, rapid fire closers or one-liners. So one campaign you wish you would run and why?
I don't know. It would just have to be with a brand that I like. So something with Pudgy Penguins, Luca Nets.
And you wish you would have run it because they did a great job at it, or you wish you would have run it because you would have done something different with it?
I just would have liked to have worked with Luca.
Nice.
I think that'd be a good experience.
Yeah. Do you think a Web3 project could do well without Twitter?
Oh, it's a good one because I definitely think they can. Example being Reddit, the Reddit avatars, they absolutely cooked. And crypto Twitter were late to that. So the short answer is yes, they can.
Yeah, I totally agree. I wish a project would actually be born in the product hunt section of a Reddit thread where people start building this idea about around a problem, and then you plug in Web3 into that, and therefore you see the need to tap into that need of having the people informed also in Twitter, but not that is your main source. Of course, it's a huge source of traffic, right, and of eyes. But yeah, I wish a project would come along that is built strongly around the problem that is they're trying to solve, and sway into other channels, whether that is LinkedIn or Reddit or even Instagram for some, TikTok for others, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's mainly down to the fact that most people who are like Web3 minded or thinking of building anything on the blockchain, they're already on Twitter. Do you know what I mean? So it's natural for them to then obviously start on Twitter. I think with the Reddit thing, it was just a rare case of them, because even around the time that Reddit jumped in, blockchain was still, I mean, it still is now, like a red flag for so many retail, but Reddit did it in such a good way that I think the majority of people that were buying these avatars didn't care. They didn't know that it was on the blockchain. They weren't buying them for the price increase or the speculation. They just they were buying the avatar because they wanted it. And that's why they did so well. Is because people were buying them because they wanted them. Then the speculators saw that and they came in, and they've kind of ruined it because Reddit avatars have gone downhill since. But yeah,
exactly. The worst advice we still hear in Web3 is
launch a token.
Just launch.
Because you might not need one. Obviously, that might be intuitive because obviously I help market tokens, but if you don't need a token, don't fucking have one. It's there's a lot of projects out there that probably would have been a lot better off had they have never launched a token. And yeah, just if you don't need one, don't do it.
And so for those that are watching, wondering if they should launch their token, but if they don't, what is the alternative for them when they don't, and what's the benefit of it?
Well, I would just ask why. Why is it that you're launching a token? If the only answer is like to raise funds, then fuck off. You're not extracting from the Web3 community. If you need it, if the token's viable and it makes sense to have one, launch one. If not, you're just fucking trying to take money off people, and it's not worth it.
Yeah, exactly. And so we turn our attention into demand by.
We turn attention into demand. Is that what you're asking me, and then you want me to tell you how I turn?
Fill the blank kind of thing.
We turn attention into demand through matching you with KOLs whose audience would be best to target for whatever it is that you're promoting. We do that through looking at our large database of KOLs. We will look at all of the data that we have through different tools like Cato and Cookie3. We compare all of that data. And the pricing that we have for KOLs, so we know who's expensive, who isn't. We also look at the types of content that the KOLs are sharing. So we'll use the keywords. So if you're a DeFi project on Arbitrum, we will be using keywords that are related to DeFi and Arbitrum. That allows us to further narrow the pool of KOLs. Then we understand your budget and exactly what it is that you want to promote. Because just because you're a DeFi project, what you're looking to promote might be different. It might be a token, or it might be your product, or maybe you want users, right? Like, it all depends on what you want. Once we have that, we work with the KOLs. Are they available for one? Are they interested for another? If yes, we then share our list, who we think would be the best for this campaign. We would work with the client. If they're happy, if they aren't, maybe they have a few KOLs that we haven't mentioned that they would love to get on the campaign. We reach out to them if we don't already have them, or we'll just message them. Once we're happy with that list, we go away and we make it happen. The reason why this is effective is because you're not spraying and praying and hoping that these 2 million views add up to something. It's targeting your ICP. It's knowing exactly who is most likely to take action on this information should they come across it. That's the difference. Is you can shout as loud as you want in a room full of rugby fans about your favorite football team. None of them are going to care. If you do that in a room full of football fans, half of them are going to shout at you because they don't support the same team. Half of them are going to love you because they do. Do you know? So it's the same with KOLs and sharing information. If you're a gaming project, you got Sammy who's shit hot on AI sharing the project. Some people are going to be interested, but it's not going to be as effective as if you're an AI project targeting an AI influencer whose audience are expecting AI information. You know, like that's how we do it. Is we just refine until we've got exactly who we think is perfect, and then we make it happen.
Yeah, man, and I think it's a perfect full circle around everything else that we were discussing as well, with those 3 red flags that you have to have for your project. So if your product is in line, if your MVP is in line, if your community is in line, if all these things are in line, and then you're ready and you're coming over to a KOL, then all those things is exactly as you describe it. And Yeah. Awesome, man. Yeah, with that, I think we can bring this to an end. One thing I just wanted to ask you, man, is on my site, I'm going to have a small section for Web3 consultancy to perhaps develop the projects that are not in the stage yet, where they don't have an MVP, they don't have even developers, or don't have anything yet. It's all up in the air. I think I can help them with the strategies and how to understand their go-to market, their business model, and a lot of times understand their own project. And what is it that they have to do so that is of value for the community, for retail, for everyone else. So I'm going to have just this little section about that, and then a link to your site that specifies that when you're ready for growth, when you're ready for attention, when you're ready to bring people over, then Fracas is the way to go.
Definitely. I mean, I think a lot of people could benefit from the insight that you could give them, especially in that early stage where it's like most impactful.
Yeah, exactly. So doing operations for so long, I see so many projects that are focusing on the wrong things and things that don't really move the needle a lot of times. Things that are busy work, they are great, and a lot of times essential. But what is amongst those essential list of items, the things that move the needle the most, that get you the results faster, better, more effectively, and that means a lot of times, projects running out of run rate, projects running out of fumes to go by based on that strategic course of action. So yeah. Yeah, man, great talking to you.
Okay, man. Yeah, cool.
Awesome, man.
I enjoyed it.
Hey, man, me too. I think I'm gonna do a round of these with other people that I know, some other clients, and talk to them and do something similar. Just do kind of a podcast, maybe once a week, where you can just throw smaller bits of content on other platforms as well.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Awesome, man. Man, it's always great to talk to you, man. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, likewise, man.
Yeah, man. Take care.